There's a secret about men that most people overlook. They might act strong, confident, and even untouchable on the outside, but inside, they long for a certain kind of validation. Not surface, level praise, or empty flattery, but something deeper, something that speaks to who they are at the core. Today, you're going to discover the one compliment that, when spoken with truth and sincerity, can make any man go absolutely crazy for you. Men are often misunderstood when it comes to what truly fulfills them emotionally. While many people assume they crave constant admiration for their looks or wealth, the truth runs much deeper. At their core, men long to be recognized for their efforts, for the things they do that often go unnoticed. It could be as simple as fixing something around the house, handling a stressful situation, or working long hours to provide. These actions might look ordinary on the surface, but to him, they represent dedication, responsibility, and sacrifice. When someone acknowledges that effort, not just the outcome, but the intention behind it, it lights him up in a way few other things can. Think about how many times people overlook the daily grind a man goes through. He might carry silent burdens, make compromises, or push through challenges without ever asking for applause. Yet deep inside, there's a quiet desire for someone to see it and say, "I notice what you do, and it matters." That recognition goes far beyond casual compliments. It isn't about saying, "You're handsome," or "You're strong." While those words are nice, they remain surface level. What really touches him is when you reflect back to him that his effort is valuable and appreciated. When a man hears that his effort is recognized, it affirms his sense of purpose. He feels that his actions are not in vain, that what he's doing actually contributes to something meaningful. This acknowledgement creates a deep emotional bond because it tells him that he's not invisible. It validates his struggles and makes him feel that his role is not only noticed but essential. That kind of validation is rare, and when he receives it, it becomes addictive. It drives him to continue showing up, working harder, and proving himself, not because he has to, but because he wants to for the person who genuinely appreciates him. The truth is, men thrive on feeling capable and effective, but this feeling isn't fully realized until someone else mirrors it back to them. A man who is constantly criticized or ignored may keep going out of duty, but inside he grows wary. On the other hand, a man who is recognized and respected for his efforts becomes unstoppable. That simple recognition becomes fuel, and it can transform not only how he sees himself, but also how he shows up in a relationship. It is proof that genuine appreciation, even for the smallest effort, is often the most powerful compliment a man can ever receive. The right compliment has the power to touch a man in ways that go far beyond what most people realize. For men, feeling valued and respected is more important than receiving endless words of admiration that lack depth. A compliment that truly matters is not about flattery or surface level praise. It's about showing him that you recognize who he is and what he contributes. When he hears words that reflect back his worth, it creates a spark inside him that can't be ignored. That spark is the feeling of being seen, not just as another person in the crowd, but as someone who plays a unique and irreplaceable role. Men are often conditioned to be providers, protectors, and leaders carrying responsibility on their shoulders with little recognition. They may appear strong, confident, and independent, but deep down, they want reassurance that their efforts make a difference. The right compliment does exactly that. It validates his identity and reinforces that what he brings to the relationship, to his family, or even to the world is significant. It tells him, "You matter, and I see the value in what you do." That type of compliment is not only powerful, it is unforgettable. When a man feels valued through your words, he develops a stronger bond with you. He begins to associate you with encouragement, warmth, and inspiration. It's not about inflating his ego. It's about nurturing his spirit. Everyone wants to feel that what they do has meaning, and for men, a carefully chosen compliment can make him feel like he's achieving exactly that. It lifts him emotionally and creates an invisible connection, one that makes him want to give even more of himself to you. The most effective compliments are the ones tied to his actions or qualities, rather than generic statements. Saying something like, "I really admire how you handled that situation," or "You make things feel easier when you're around," goes straight to the heart. It tells him that his presence has impact, that he's capable, and that his role is meaningful. Those are the words that echo in his mind long after they've been spoken, reminding him of his worth again and again. And once he feels valued in this way, he craves more of it. Not just the words, but the connection they create with the person who truly appreciates him. Confidence is something every man desires, but it's not always something he naturally carries within himself. Life throws challenges, failures, and self-doubt at everyone, and men are no exception. What many people don't realize is that a man's confidence is often deeply tied to how others perceive his capabilities. When someone genuinely compliments his ability, whether it's his intelligence, his problem-solving skills, or the way he handles responsibility, it builds him up in ways that few other things can. That recognition doesn't just make him feel good in the moment, it reinforces his belief in himself, giving him the motivation to keep striving for more. Imagine a man who has been working hard on a project or dealing with a stressful situation. He may not admit it, but he questions whether he's good enough, whether he's making the right choices, or whether his effort is worth it. Then someone tells him, "You're really good at handling things under pressure," or "I love how capable you are, you always know what to do." Suddenly, the doubt begins to fade. Those words act as proof that he's not only doing well, but that others see it too. That kind of compliment isn't shallow, it's empowering. Men thrive on the feeling that they are competent, strong, and able to handle life's demands. Compliments that highlight those strengths give them a boost of certainty that can transform their mindset. Instead of feeling like they're struggling alone, they feel like someone believes in them, and that belief often pushes them to step into their role even more confidently. It's not about making him arrogant. It's about reminding him of the qualities he already possesses but may overlook in himself. The most impactful compliments about capability are specific. Instead of a vague, "You're amazing," words like, "I admire how you always find solutions," or "You make things feel secure because you're so reliable," strike much deeper. They affirm not just who he is, but what he does, and that becomes a source of pride he carries with him. Over time, these affirmations don't just give him temporary confidence, they shape the way he views himself. When a man feels capable in the eyes of someone he cares about, his confidence naturally grows. And with that confidence, he becomes more willing to take risks, pursue goals, and show up as the best version of himself. That's the power of a simple yet meaningful compliment. It doesn't just lift him for a moment, it builds him into someone stronger. There is something deep within a man that longs to feel like he is a protector, a supporter, and someone who provides stability. This instinct is not about ego or dominance. It is about a natural drive to make the people he cares about feel secure and cared for. When someone recognizes and compliments him for that role, it taps into a powerful emotional core. It tells him that his presence matters, that his efforts to look out for you or stand by you are not just noticed, but deeply valued. Such a compliment doesn't just make him smile, it touches his identity, making him feel like he is fulfilling one of the most important roles in his life. Consider how often a man quietly steps into that role without saying a word. It could be as simple as walking on the side of the street closer to traffic, checking in to make sure you're okay, or taking charge when something feels uncertain. These gestures might seem small to others, but they mean a great deal to him because they reflect his protective nature. When someone says, "I feel so secure when you're around," or "I trust you to handle things," it validates those unspoken efforts. That validation is not just flattery, it is fuel for his spirit. Complimenting a man in this way goes beyond surface acknowledgement. It reaches into his sense of purpose and identity. Every man wants to feel that the people he loves are better off because of his presence. When he hears that his strength, reliability, or support brings comfort and safety, he feels irreplaceable. That is one of the most powerful feelings a man can experience because it confirms that his role is not only recognized but also cherished. The effect of such compliments is lasting. Long after the words are spoken, he carries them in his mind, reminding himself that he is not just going through the motions, but making a real impact. It encourages him to step into that role even more confidently, to give more of himself, and to continue being the reliable, supportive figure you see him as. This isn't about inflating his pride, it's about affirming his purpose. And when a man feels that his natural instinct to protect and support is valued, he not only feels closer to you, but he also becomes even more committed to fulfilling that role wholeheartedly. The words you choose to say to a man can have a lasting impact, but it's not just the words themselves that matter. The way you deliver them, the tone you use, the timing you choose, and the sincerity behind them can completely change how he receives them. A compliment said at the right moment with genuine emotion can melt through even the toughest exterior, while the same words said without feeling can sound hollow and forgettable. Men, just like anyone else, are highly sensitive to authenticity. They can sense when you truly mean what you're saying and when you're simply saying something to make them feel good. That's why the delivery matters just as much, if not more, than the compliment itself. Think of the difference between casually saying, "You're great," while scrolling on your phone versus looking him in the eyes, smiling and softly telling him, "I feel so much better with you around." One version barely registers, while the other strikes deeply because it carries real emotion. The tone you use, warm, calm, and genuine, conveys that you're not just throwing words around, but that you actually feel them. That sincerity makes the compliment believable, and when it's believable, it becomes powerful. Timing also plays a huge role. If you offer a compliment right after he's done something thoughtful, handled a problem, or supported you in some way, it feels natural and earned. It tells him that you noticed his action and appreciated it in the moment. On the other hand, giving a compliment at a random time, without connection to what's happening, can sometimes feel forced. Men remember the moments when someone acknowledges their effort in real time because it reinforces the link between their action and your appreciation. Finally, the delivery should come from a place of genuine gratitude rather than obligation. Saying something because you think you're supposed to won't resonate. But when the words come from the heart, they leave a lasting impression. A man will replay those genuine compliments in his mind, especially when they are delivered with warmth and timing that makes them unforgettable. This is why the same phrase can either go unnoticed or make his heart race, depending on how it's delivered. When you combine sincerity with thoughtful timing and the right tone, even a few simple words can become some of the most powerful and meaningful things he has ever heard. When a man hears the words, "I feel so safe when I'm with you," something inside of him awakens. This single compliment carries a weight far greater than it appears on the surface. It speaks directly to his deepest instinct, the desire to protect, to provide comfort, and to create an environment where the person he cares about can relax and feel secure. Unlike generic compliments that highlight his looks or his achievements, this one touches his soul. It doesn't just tell him that he's attractive or successful. It tells him that who he is and what he brings to the relationship makes a profound difference. Safety isn't only about the physical sense of protection, though that matters. It's also about emotional safety, the kind that allows you to let down your guard, to share your feelings openly, and to trust that he won't let you down. When you say you feel safe with him, you're acknowledging that his presence gives you peace, that he's not just someone you enjoy being around, but someone who provides stability. This is powerful because it aligns with his natural desire to be someone you can count on. The beauty of this compliment lies in its simplicity. It doesn't require fancy words or exaggerated praise. In fact, its strength comes from its sincerity, said at the right moment, after he's done something thoughtful, stood by you in a tough situation, or simply held you when you needed comfort. It becomes unforgettable. Those words will echo in his mind, reminding him again and again that he is more than enough, that his presence is impactful, and that he is truly appreciated. This kind of compliment doesn't inflate his ego, it anchors his sense of purpose. It makes him want to live up to those words, to continue being the man who brings safety and reassurance into your life. It motivates him to give even more of himself, not because he has to, but because he wants to earn and re-earn that feeling of being your safe place. What makes "I feel so safe with you" so powerful is that it validates his efforts without asking for more. It tells him that he has already succeeded in the most important way, making you feel protected and secure. And when a man knows he has achieved that, it drives him to stay close, to cherish you, and to hold on tightly to the bond those words created. At the end of the day, every man longs for more than surface level attention. He craves to feel valued, capable, respected, and irreplaceable in the eyes of someone who truly matters to him. Compliments that recognize his efforts, highlight his strengths, and affirm his role as a protector and supporter go far deeper than any casual words ever could. And when you deliver them with sincerity, warmth, and perfect timing, they become unforgettable. The simple phrase, "I feel so safe when I'm with you," holds the power to awaken his deepest instincts, fueling his confidence and binding him closer to you. It's not about flattery. It's about connection. Words like these do more than make him feel good in the moment. They build trust, inspire loyalty, and create a magnetic bond that makes him want to give the very best of himself. That's the true power of one meaningful compliment. It doesn't just make a man go crazy for you. It makes him stay.